There's been general shortages in the economy, in the labor market, talent shortages, worker shortages. Is that something that's affecting the commercial real estate industry as well?
I don't think there's a shortage of talent. I think the world is full of talented people. I think especially this next generation of young people are incredibly smart and gifted with tools that we didn't have. And I know there's anecdotal commentary from silverbeard guys like me about, oh, the next generation is this or that. But I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic in general, and I'm optimistic about the potential of the future. Is there a talent shortage in commercial real estate? There is a shortage of people because people are working and connecting in different ways. That's what I think. I think the development of people is slower than ever, and I think it's a major problem. I think that people not coming back to the office is a major problem as to why there's a shortage of people in commercial real estate. And that I don't know if it's going to change and how it's going to affect us in the long run. I've been bringing in a number of new agents. Real estate brokers, sales reps are independent contractors. They're not employees of the Behar Group. I can't, under CRA guidelines, require that they come into the office. And when given the opportunity to work from home, they prefer to work from home. And I've always said that commercial real estate is a contact sport. And I feel that now more than ever is the case. Yesterday, I met someone who was in the advertising and marketing industry, and she said it's business is an over-the-shoulder business. I'd never heard that expression, but now I'm going to use it. Commercial real estate is taught from person to person, by mentor to mentee, by senior to junior. It's the only way you learn. And that's what I'm concerned about in terms of the commercial real estate, in terms of the talent shortage, the patience, the attention span that's required to give the many, many hours of dedication required to just be around wise people who've experienced different types of deals. In commercial real estate, there is no standard deal. There's no standard commission. There's no standard form of agreement of purchase and sale. Every deal is unique. And if you're not around people who've had some experience, how are you ever going to learn?
That's interesting. Kind of dancing around this issue, but certainly there may be some demographic challenges. Do you find that the resistance to come into the office, the resistance to do that contact sport, which is commercial real estate, is coming primarily from a certain demographic, certain generation? We all know that the workforce is getting older. We see it in real estate that there are a lot more gray hairs coming
Yeah.
up and fewer down below. Is that a demographic issue? Is that a challenge?
I don't think it's a demographic issue. I mean, I think demographics and age are a factor. I've heard people say that the next generation views their career as as a side gig, as a side hustle, and they're all doing something else. I think that's an overgeneralization. I think it's up to the more experienced people in the industry to be proactive with helping people to give a hand and a hand up and really encourage, but beyond encourage, really insist that the juniors in the industry come along and attend the meetings. This past year, I've in particular been very active with the universities and attending a number of the events and career events and at TMU and at Western and at Guelph. And it's been a very rewarding experience for me personally and professionally as well, being that sort of Uncle Greg kind of guy to these people who are considering getting into commercial real estate. We just actually started 2 interns from TMU yesterday out of the Ted Rogers Real Estate Association, and they're eager to be in the office. They're eager to learn, and they like being empowered. And so when I look at them and I say, there's no reason that you can't be the top producer in this company within 5 years, and they're 22, I say that because I believe it. I absolutely don't think that there's a problem with the youth. They've got such talent and optimism. They just need their expectations managed better, and they need to be, force-fed a little bit, in terms of what needs to be learned to be successful.
So on that note, what kind of things can companies, organizations and specifically real estate organizations do to encourage your employees to come back to the office, to make them feel like they want to come back? Because certainly a lot of people are saying they don't necessarily want to. Are there certain things that we can do to kind of get them there?
We've tried a number of things. We have quite a large sales team and a fairly small administrative team. We were very successful at going hybrid, and we were very conservative from the beginning of the pandemic. We had, before the end of March 2020, the whole company was operating virtually and successfully. And I would say I'm very, very proud that through the pandemic we actually fortified and built our culture. We actually grew during the pandemic because we did so much engagement. And these virtual tools work, but they don't work for everything. So I don't think it's ever going to go entirely the pendulum swinging back to everyone in the office all the time. I don't think that's necessary. And I think it's been written and spoken by thought leaders across the industry that, if it's work that can be efficiently done at home, then do it at home. But if it's work that could be more efficiently and more creatively and more collaboratively done together, then plan for that time in the office. Make days where you're going to brainstorm, you're going to strategize, you're going to collaborate, you're going to learn, and you're going to teach. And just squeeze the juice of that opportunity and make it valuable. One thing we've been doing, I've really strategically been trying to initiate leadership from within, rather than me kind of guiding all these initiatives. So we have a lot of great young leaders in our company, fantastic characters, tremendous, intellect and quality people. And I see such potential, especially with our downtown office, for them to create their own next generation kind of social environment, to learn by example. What a great opportunity to learn and grow it is to be with your peers and to create those kind of work-based friendships. That's part of work too. We spend more time with the people we work with than we do with our families sometimes. And I'm very careful who I bring in. I bring in people who are of good quality character. They're gonna like each other. So I'm gently encouraging them to say, why don't you all come down to the downtown office every Thursday of the summer, and work together down here. Wouldn't that be great? And I can see their eyes sort of light up, and they're sort of seeing now. The light bulb has to go off with them. It can't be me forcing them. The light bulb has to go off with them that there's a value here beyond, the boss telling them that they need to do it, that they will benefit as people for working together. So I think it's going to work. The other thing is bribery. We've been catering lunch and learns on a regular basis in the office. We bring in guest speakers, we bring in other brokers, we bring in developers and landlords and tenants and lenders, a number of different professionals, and yes, I bring in a delicious lunch as well. So that works. So that gets everybody in, and we have a lot of fun doing it too.
Yeah, certainly freebies are the way to go.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, several years ago, we thought e-commerce was going to kill retail.
Yeah.
And retail didn't just swing out to e-commerce. There was some in the store, some in e-commerce. There's the omni-channeling, and that's how retail's evolved. Kind of what you're saying to me is office is kind of evolving too in terms of our office culture, sometime in the office, sometime not. Is hybrid the way to draw in talent in real estate? Is that a big incentive to give them, flexibility to your staff, to give them some treats every now and then to come in? Will that get talent coming into this sector?
Brokerage is a unique business. Brokerage, I want to say, invented hybrid. The pandemic didn't invent hybrid for brokers. Brokers have always had the flexibility to work at home or come in the office, and they always did that. So that hasn't changed too much. The problem is now that brokers have really embraced working from home more often, and that means that the mentors aren't around. So there's a chance that my young brokers could come in and they won't have somebody there to learn from and to listen into on a phone call. The staff are a little bit easier. I think they understand and empathize with my challenges as a business leader. I think they see that despite their preference to stay home, they understand that business, I need to see what's going on, and I need to see them collaborate, and I need some immediate access to them more often. And so what we've done is we started bringing them back as of January 2023, 2 days a week, Mondays and Wednesdays only. But I've been drip marketing that's going to increase a little bit for a number of months. But in addition, I added And frankly, I learned this by attending an event, a TRIA event from RioCan, is the importance of the success they had with flex hours. So I also allowed for flexible hours and said that you can start as early as 7 a.m. if you want on those 2 days. So some of our staff who commute quite far and often get stuck in traffic, they've really enjoyed that adjustment. They come in at 7, they leave at 3, and they get their work done, and it's gone quite smoothly. We haven't had any attrition, we haven't had any pushback, and I think they've enjoyed it. As I said, the human interaction I think is really important. I'm a bit of an amateur student in positive psychology. We
Right.
talked about it earlier, and it's been proven time and time again that the happier you are, the more productive you are. And I think that there's real mental health risks to the isolation of working alone. You may be independent, you may be creative, you may be productive, but people struggle with the work-life balance. And humans are social beings. And I just think it should never be lost. I'm a big believer, I'm bullish on office coming back. Like companies that have 10,000 square feet might only need 6, but they're going to need 6 to thrive and continue to exist. So I'm more confident than ever that the Behar Group can help to even build its office leasing team with some of these young leaders who will understand the needs of companies that are being driven by other young professionals, and help to design and create office environments where those companies can grow.